Let's start with the box. Why a power saw is so important in wildland firefighting is because you're always dealing with trees. When a fire goes through an area, it weakens the trees, and they fall on everything. They fall across roads, they fall on people, they fall on cars. So it's a life safety issue. You don't want to get blocked off and burnt up because you can't get you and your crew out because a tree has fallen across the road. So having reliable saws with multiple backup options and parts is very critical. Also, in prevention of firefighting, you know, when you're clearing brush or trying to save a house or doing fire line, chainsaws are a key component to cutting all that. So they're really, really our priority. And it was the center of my box that I built around, basically around the power saw. My advice whenever you're going through kits like this, always be thinking, what can I get rid of? What do I don't need? What can I make to simplify my life? I don't use these SIGs, these extra fuel bottles. I have a Dalmar here that's got oil and gas. I've carried these things around. I just don't use them. I'm working out of a truck, so that will free up some space. These are spare parts. You know, we've covered all this before. Stump vise, replacement parts for the saw itself, bar nuts, plugs, you know, those wear items, carburetor adjuster, extra scrunch tool, earplugs, pull rope, and stump vise. You know, everything that a guy would need to do to fix a problem with the saw. 2 bars, I run a 32 lightweight for my primary, but I also have a 36. So if I damage a bar or it gets pinched, I don't lose my saw. Spare parts. In here, I have all my pre-sharpened chains. I like to file with either the steel sharpener, which is a really good tool. If you struggle with sharpening, this will solve all your problems. It's quite good, but I still like to, just the old school, so I keep both. But in here are all my pre-sharpened chains. Round file, not chisel for fire. Chisel holds the edge better. These are color coordinated with zip tie. Green is the 36, red is the 32, so I don't accidentally, you know, grab the wrong one and try to put it on to waste a bunch of time. Here are all of the hand tools. This makes up really the bulk of the box. You need a lot of tools because you have to solve a lot of problems. Bolt cutters. Bolt cutters are going to get you through gates. They're going to open fences. They're going to cut padlocks. Bolt cutters are really important. And fence pliers. If you want to go, you know, if you don't want to carry bolt cutters around, and if you live in the country, you should have a pair of fence pliers. These will cut any barbed wire fence. They'll get through basically anything. They are an incredible tool. They got a spike on it that you can use for breaking glass, tempered glass. They've got a hammer. Amazing tools. So these two kind of go together. And then all of the hand tools. I keep a hatchet and a pounder. This will be worn on the belt on the back with the tourniquet and a chainsaw tool, whether I'm falling. Only if I'm working with the chainsaw, you know, and felling timber will I wear this. I'm not going to wear that normally. A mill bastard file here for sharpening tools, 12-inch, a big one. And you just make your own sheath out of cardboard and tape. This is a pounder axe. This is a vintage axe that I put together. I like the short handle and a heavy weight. This is for pounding when you have to fall really big trees, pounding wedges. Of the main fire tools, I'm typically going to carry 2, sometimes 3. A fire shovel, which is my primary. A Rogue forest rake with a long handle, and then the Rogue long-handled, heavy-duty, like a 7-inch hoe. Those 3 are pretty good. Having multiple tools, you can put a tool in someone's hand that is a bystander or helping, because when something's burning, you know, there's nothing you can do. You know, most people are not going to have suitable boots on, so they can't go out there and, you know, what are they going to do? Stomp it out with their Crocs? You know, that if you don't have gloves and tools with handles and the things you need, then you really can't do anything at all except for just stand there and look at it. So these things are really important. We also have a couple methods to start a fire. Fire can be a great tool for putting fire out. You can save yourself by burning out fuel ahead of you that will stop a fire in its tracks. You can remove fuel. There's lots of things you can do. So this is a traditional drip torch, which runs a mix of 75% diesel oil, 25% gasoline, and when you take the lid off and flip it up, you can pour it and light it and basically pour a little stream of fire. Also, we'll have fusees, which are like road flares, so you can strike these on their own caps here, and you can burn out and you can start fires with these as well. I've got a pretty good medical kit I put together for this sort of thing that contains a lot of blood sponge and burn gear for the type of injuries you're going to run into, as well as some bee sting stuff and just general comfort items. And then finally, we have some protective equipment that I'm not going to carry on my main pack. Chainsaw chaps, wire mesh goggles, and hard hats. But that's it. Not overstuffed, but everything a guy needs. Well, beloved, that is it. That is the entire contents of the U.S. Forest Service inspired cache box. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.